Welcome to the weekly worship service of the First Church in Boston, a Unitarian Universalist congregation in Back Bay. Our guest minister for today is Reverend Ken Reeves. His sermon is entitled Bridges to Equals.
Welcome. Welcome on this glorious Sunday. I'm Fern Beck, Chair of the Standing Committee, and I have good news on all accounts. Edmund Robinson, our interim minister, will be back in church on Monday. And our second good news is we get a chance to listen to Reverend Ken Reeves again. He's done some lovely sermons for us. And for those of you who don't know him, he served in congregations in Ohio and Delaware, completed his PhD in psychology. He has a therapy practice, and he works with clergy to be supportive of them in the work that they're doing. And he has a book out, The Whole Church. So I want you to welcome Ken Reeves. Thank you.
Good morning. It's good to be with you all. Edmund contacted me this week and said, can you come on January 8th? I'm like, yes. It's a little bit like being in the bullpen. The starting pitcher is tired. We call somebody out from the bullpen. We get a right-handed pitcher, and glad to be here offering support. Glad to support Edmund, and if I can, to support you all. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, which means that we are a support community. I believe we are a support community for people on various journeys towards ultimate goals, such as love, or peace, or union. One of the ways we support each other is by seeing each other as of equal value. We differ in various ways, but equality lets us stand at equal heights and build bridges across to each other. Our differences make walking across and meeting on those bridges exciting. And we can teach the world how to build bridges to equals. And bridges to equals is what today's sermon is about. I offer this service out of my caring for you and my wish to support you on your journeys. I hope that as you journey, you find love and freedom and live the full richness of being alive. In the spirit of a supportive journey together, I'd like to sing together hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. It's a slightly shortened version of a slightly longer poem by Rumi, who goes, Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come.
Two rows in back to be number 2,
May peace be in your hearts through the energy of freedom and the warmth of love. May you live the fullness of being alive, and in that fullness find peace. Through justice and understanding, may humanity be at peace, and may all of life on earth live together in balance and peace. Let's read together the First Church Boston affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, that serves its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
We have a lovely announcement. In the interim, while Juliana will be recovering from her surgery, we have hired someone who I think all of you will enjoy. And she's willing to listen to you teach her. So Tracy Smart is over there. And we welcome you to First Church. And also tied into this announcement is we have 5 or 6 people who are congregants who all of you know, and they're going to be supporting Tracy and all of us in the office helping. So I don't want to forget anybody, but any of you are welcome to join us. So you have Margaret Moody, and you have Janine, and you have Pam, and you have Joanne, and you have Peter, yes, you have Peter. I need a little help with this, right? We have Peter, and we have Rosemary, and Janine I already said, because you're very cool. All right, so those are the people, and of course, we're willing for any of you to help and support us. All right, thank you so much.
Good morning. This is the time for the responsive reading, and we're reading number 543, and it's appropriately called Winter. Let us not wish away the winter. It is a season to itself, not simply the way to spring. When the trees rest, growing no leaves, gathering no light, the leaden sky and trace themselves delicately against dawns and sunsets. The clarity and brilliance of the winter sky delight. The loom of fog softens edges, lulls the eyes and ears of the quiet, awakens by risk the unquiet. A low, dark sky can snow, emblem of individuality, liberality, and aggregate power. Snow invites to contemplation and to sport. Winter is a table set with ice and starlight. Winter dark tends to warm light, fire and candle, winter cold to hugs and huddles, winter to gifts and sharing, winter danger to visions, plans, and common endeavoring, and the zest of narrow escapes. Winter tedium to merrymaking. Let us therefore praise winter, rich in beauty, challenge, and pregnant negativities.
Invite those who wish to share a joy or a concern, something we may celebrate together, or something for which you would like the healing energy of our shared meditation. I'm thinking to start with our next door neighbor died 2 days ago, and thinking of him and his family. He had 96 years of vibrant living, and he will be missed. My name is Buck Grace.
You probably all know me. I'm David Reno. I share a concern with our government. In the back, we have a poster or calligraphy to George Bancroft, who was a chaplain of the U.S. Senate. One time, and I'm put in mind of a comment he made, one time when there was a lady who came to Washington, was feeling very patriotic, said to Chaplain Bancroft, "Tell me, Chaplain Bancroft, do you pray with the Congress?" To which he responded, "No, madam, I see the Congress, and I pray for the country."
I love shopping for little children. It's one of my joys. And my niece and nephew were married twice. And since they were 14, all they wanted were gift cards. But I'm blessed with younger cousins who had little children. And for the past 4 or 5 years, I've taken a little epiphany, little Christmas epiphany, to basically I bully them into letting me buy them stuff for their kids. And I know it sounds goofy, but I said I want to be your Auntie May, because I can't be it for my niece and nephew anymore. So such joy this week because it was Epiphany and I got to give those gifts. And they're all growing older now since talking about last year. So such a joy.
As we were reminded this morning, peace is one of our values, and the Christmas truce got reinvigorated, however briefly, this week because the Russian Orthodox Christmas is yesterday, I think. So there was a little slowdown, but we can all keep alert for more opportunities to push for peace in Ukraine.
I second that. I'm getting big stone here. I always get the big ones. I wanted to give share a joy with you. I made debut this first night playing at the Mother Church, which is one of the biggest organs in the world, and we had about 800 people, at least, maybe 1,000. And amongst those 800 people were some of my First Church family supporting me and cheering me on, which was really awesome. I wasn't as nervous as I could have been. So, but seeing all those faces, it gave me such joy in my heart to see that I was supported and thought about by the people here. So that's my joy for the day.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to just take a moment to thank our Javier and Dan, who helped to decorate this whole sanctuary for the holiday season. And we have taken almost everything down except for a couple of wreaths. And normally we lower the wreath as a symbol of the end of the season. But just imagining, they're all lowering now. And we will, that's right, pure imagination, and we appreciate that. But really, they've done just such a terrific job to help with decorating and making this place shine, and I want to give them a shout out.
Well, we are mysteriously connected, and through our connections, from our connections, may we receive support and strength as we proceed on our journeys. My reading this morning is a comment by psychologist, 20th century psychologist Alfred Adler, who addressed equality and love in this way. Inequality makes loving relationships or mutual cooperation impossible. I might phrase it in the positive. Equality makes loving relationships and mutual cooperation possible. And an attitude of humility and openness to one another allows for this equality and allows for this quality of relating. And in the spirit of that humility and openness, let's sing together, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." It's hymn number 16. Thanks, Gigi, for that accompaniment and everybody singing. Thanks for that lovely anthem, too. It's beautiful. We're done. We can finish now. As humanity has developed through its history, so has social equality. Laws applying equally to everyone, democracy in which everyone's voice matters, universal education, these have supported social equality. Extending rights to women, children, and minorities has helped. In religious circles, a printed Bible opened readers to religious thinking. The universalist belief that all are saved further supports equality. This development of equality resembles the tectonic shifts of continents, such that over many years we find ourselves in a whole new place. This development also occurs one person at a time, which calls to mind my friend Bill. A few years ago, I visited Bill in Manhattan. We met in a courtyard near his office and bought a couple of big, soft New York pretzels. Bill told the pretzel man, "I am so grateful you sell pretzels here. It must be hard work, on your feet for hours in all kinds of weather, but this pretzel just makes my day." The pretzel man said, "Mister, this is a first." A homeless man walked by asking for change. Bill asked him, "Do you like New York pretzels as much as I do?" The man paused and looked at us. Bill broke off half his pretzel and handed it to the man, saying, "If this isn't a great pretzel, come back and I'll give you another." The man walked off munching. I said, "Are you a nut or something?" Bill said, "No, I'm just bringing love to New York City. Don't you think New York needs a little love?" We walked up the avenue. A manhole was open with a few phone workers around eating lunch. Bill remarked to them, "It must be difficult working underground, but it makes so much difference when our phone calls go through." The workers stopped mid-bite and looked at Bill. I wanted to tell them, "I'm not with this guy." One nodded at Bill. He looked at the man next to him, and the two made a little fist bump. I said, "Cut it out. You're making me nervous." "I do this all the time," he said. "Nobody's taken a pot shot at me yet. And what's so bad about appreciating people and seeing the world through their eyes? What does it get me to wrap myself up in a cloak of superiority or shut myself down in fear of being seen as inferior? Yeah, I'm unusual, but pretty soon, everyone in New York is going to be benevolent and caring. Look, an Indian Pakistani restaurant, and there a kosher deli that features Palestinian falafels. And it's happened in my office." "You're kidding." I mean, restaurants are one thing, but I knew his law office, Deckham, Lord and Ash, with its reputation for coldness and superiority. He said, "Yep, since I've been there, it's a whole new place." My friend, an attorney, had lost a job at his former law firm by getting into constant struggles with his colleagues. He used to complain that they were out to get him, watching and judging his every move. He would then leap to judgments of them. "I can't believe how stupid he is. How she became a partner, I'll never know. And he's so judgmental. How can I work with that judgment hanging over me?" This went on for a year until they showed him the door. Bill sent out resumes and obtained interviews, and at each interview he railed at how stupid his former law firm had been and how judged he had felt there. He received no offers, of course. My friend could be quite prickly, but he was kind to me, and I always sensed in him a capacity for understanding. Someone else did too one day. Bill told me this story. I was going for my interview, at Deckham, Lord and Ash. nervous as a long-tailed cat entering a room full of rocking chairs. I knew my interview style wasn't working for me, but I kept expecting the interviewer to see things as I did. I wanted to make such an airtight case against my old firm that my interviewer would say, "You were wronged, your judgment is flawless, and their loss is our gain." In the elevator going to my interview, I sensed everyone silently picking me apart. My suit, my tie, my hair, my face. And I stood there picking them apart. Shiny suits, garish ties, misguided haircuts, and lifeless faces. At the 30th floor, everyone left the elevator but me and an elderly gentleman. He looked anxious, and I thought, what do you have to be scared of? I'm the one going for a job interview. The elevator rose, and with a snap, jerked to a halt, and the lights went out. The old man said, "Uh-oh." I said a few choice expletives. I was going to be late for my interview. I banged on the door. The man groaned. I heard him slump to the floor. I groped and found the emergency phone. "Hello," I said. "I'm stuck in an elevator somewhere above the 30th floor." "We know," a voice said. "Be calm. We're just starting to look into this. We don't know what happened. It may take some time." "How long?" "We don't know. Be patient." Then the man said, "I hate this. I get claustrophobic." I thought, the exact thing I don't need to be stuck in an elevator with a nutcase. "I'm shaking," the man continued. "When I was a boy, they punished me by locking me in a closet. They'd leave me alone for hours." That stopped me. In the dark of the elevator, I could see in my mind's eye a boy cowering in a closet. And something inside of me opened to this man. Maybe it was because I could see nothing, so my heart's imagination went to work. Maybe it was because we both shared our current misfortune, stuck in an elevator. Maybe his aloneness in a closet reminded me of my aloneness. Always one up or one down, never at one with. Though strange to me, I felt close to this man and could glimpse what he was going through. It was not a cataclysm like God speaking to Saul on the road to Tarsus. More of the still, small voice that told me I was connected to this man. I paused with this realization, then spoke. "It's different now," I said. "We're in this together. You're not alone." We both sat breathing. I said, "I can relate. When I was a boy playing football, everyone tackled me. Under a mountain of boys, couldn't see, couldn't breathe, my face pushed into the dirt, thought the weight would crack my ribs." And so we introduced ourselves and talked of other experiences in enclosed spaces. As a kid, I played making tents and forts in my room. He had once almost drowned. I said, "I can see how a small space would upset you." The man said, "I don't change the oil in my car. I can't slide underneath to unscrew the plug. I couldn't conceive of going into a cave. Even New York City feels too confined. It's an island and all these skyscrapers. I'd be happier in Montana. I'm the only person in America who takes vacations to Nebraska. But I love to see the open sky." As a young man, he continued, I traveled the country hopping freight trains. I remember one August afternoon in North Dakota. The prairie swept out endless on all sides, grass and grain waving in the breeze. The sun seemed to ease down like a child settling to sleep. It washed everything in gold. The train rocked like a mother, and I stood in this open flat car, soaking in the light and the space. That night, the stars swam in the sky above the moving train, and the occasional farmhouse glowed, and the earth seemed to breathe in repose, awaiting the next dawn. And when the sun rose, the ponds offered wisps of vapor, and ducks and geese and larks seemed to leap into the transparent infinite sky. You know what they call a group of larks? An exaltation. An exaltation of larks. Again, in my mind's eye, I could imagine his experience and almost see the open prairie. He asked, "Do you work here?" I said, "No, I have a job interview." "Oh, I'll bet you're nervous." "Yeah, I am. I hate feeling judged." I'd be nervous too, but your interviewer has a big job and might also be anxious. And whatever judgment occurs, you are just as human as your interviewer. But I'll bet you get hired. You're a calming presence. You let me talk about my fears and then about North Dakota. Who else would care to hear about a story about North Dakota? I'd hire you. Do you work at Deckham, Lord & Ash? No, and I hear they're a tough old law firm. Then again, they're human and nervous and could use your calm listening. I listened to us breathing in the dark. He asked, "Would it bore you to hear more of my travels? I find it comforting." "I'm not going anywhere." So onto the black canvas of the elevator, he painted verbal landscapes of the wide spaces of America. The Mojave Desert, the rim of the Grand Canyon, wheat fields in Kansas. After a while, we heard some activity outside, and a crowbar pried open the door, casting light upon us. Mechanics pulled us out. The man and I parted. A worker ushered me into Deckham, Lord & Ash and explained my tardiness. I sat across from my interviewer, who looked peeved. I thought of saying, "I've just been stuck in an elevator, so lighten up and give me a break." But I could see his situation, like I could see the prairies through the old man's eyes. I said, you must have had to juggle your schedule to meet with me now." He grunted and went through a series of questions. He's human, I reminded myself, and anxious. As we finished, I said, "You face a big challenge finding the best person for this job. A lot of weight must ride on your shoulders." He looked at me, skepticism on his face. I shook his hand, "Good luck." As I rode another elevator down, I smiled at me, the applicant, wishing him good luck. A few days later, he called to tell me I had the job. As I basked in this acceptance and the chance for a new start, I thought of the man in the elevator. He had caught me at my neurotic worst, fearing others' judgment and judging others, and he set up the opposite, accepting someone and being accepted. Maybe he's my spirit guide. Maybe he was giving me divine support for doing the hard but good thing. Maybe he's my guardian angel, like George Bailey's Clarence. I wanted to thank him. And so I began at Deckham, Lord & Ash, the infamous law firm. A haughty associate showed me around. I thought, he's trying to look so superior, but we're equally human. What if we were stuck in an elevator together? What might he be afraid of? A still small voice of insight told me that he would fear not being in control. To help him feel in control, I told him, "I am glad to have you showing me around. You seem to have your finger on the pulse of this firm." He seemed to brighten up. I met my secretary, who looked like a turtle with half her head inside her shell. I said, "I hope we can work together as a team because I need your help learning the ways of this office. I'm sure you know a lot about how this firm operates, and I'm open to all you can teach me." She stood taller. "Yes, I'd be glad to." One day, a partner with a reputation for feasting on associates and picking his teeth with their bones stalked into my office. I felt afraid, but simply sat and listened. Maybe everyone else either used his surliness for profit or ran away from it. Maybe no one just stayed and listened to him. As I listened, I said very little except to restate his grievances and offer the guests, "With so much bothering you, it sounds painful." He nodded and looked out the window and into the distance. When he left, he shook my hand and thanked me. Word filtered back to me that another junior associate had learned of my firing at my other firm and had told the office an exaggerated version of my failings. I told everyone of his success in a recent case. For a while, he gave me odd looks. But when we were both assigned to a case, he welcomed me into his office and said, "I asked to work this case with you. I think we'll make a good team." And we did. Months went by, everything seemed to be going along pretty well, until one day the senior partner, Mr. Lord, stormed into my office. "Mr. Bridges," he declared, "for 30 years this organization has been steeped in superiority and suspicion at every rung of the chain of command. But now my clerk, ordinarily his own species of snake, has become affable to the point of making bows to the janitor. One senior partner who has lived to display the epitome of sartorial stuffiness now lounges in his office in shirt sleeves and braces. Another partner whose reputation for egregious surliness has never been challenged now insists on sitting at partners' meetings with a grin plastered across his face. The associates, whose stab fests once rivaled those of the Roman Senate, now roam our corridors seeking someone's back to pat. Even the secretaries are cheerful. It's an outrage. As I consult with our staff about this, fingers point to you. What can you tell me about this sea change at Deckham, Lord, and Ash? He's human and afraid, I had to tell myself. Scared of change, of his firm losing status, of personal vulnerability, and of not being in control. I said, "Sir, I can appreciate the problem. Things seem different here, and I may be a factor. I confess I have grown weary of judging and of being judged, and so I'm seeing the people around me as of equal value to myself and seeing their perspective on the world. That may have had an influence, perhaps to ease tensions here at the office. But I realize you are the senior partner with a call to lead this firm. You have to uphold standards and keep the ship of this law firm on its proper course. Sir, leadership is a lonely and thankless job." I could see an ounce of weight lift from his shoulders. "Right you are, Bridges," he said as he left. A few days later, he had me in for brandy to talk over his vision for the firm. More work for the indigent and the environment. It seemed Mr. Lord had felt alone, with no peer in whom to confide. Though he still saw me as an underling, he also saw me as someone who could glimpse his burdens and understand. My friend told me this story and added, "It's a shift from a life of being better or worse than others to seeing life through others' eyes. I look at someone else and realize he or she is not better or worse than me, and then I ask myself, what is this human being, my brother, my sister, going through?" People give me funny looks, but from this perspective, it is as if we were all in an elevator together at the same level, and we may as well support each other. Deckham Lord and Ash is now a pleasure to work for, and my friend Bill Bridges seems joyful as he breaks bread with homeless men and sips brandy with law partners. His insight is ultimately spiritual, that the Spirit thrives in connections, in relationships, in love, and that connections do not cross the lines of superior and inferior. Indeed, the Spirit sees no ranking and loves us all equally and infinitely. The Spirit supports us as we make graceful arches to connect with the sacred in each other. One of the ways we support each other is by pooling our resources to create the church that we share. And to do this at this time, we will take the offering.
If you'd like to support the work of this church with a financial donation, you may write out a check to the First Church, Boston, and mail it to 66 Marlborough Street, 02116. You can also donate via text. Simply text the dollar amount, 5, 10, 20, etc., to 617-917-5610. You'll receive confirmation by email. Thank you.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. that you dare to. Oh, why can't someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Oh, where trouble melts like lemon drops, so high above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare, oh why can't
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. This hymn, Blue Boat Home, is a lovely hymn, but I think we're going to sing something else this time. A hymn that might be a little bit more in keeping with the theme of the service. That would be the hymn, This Is My Song, in the Gray Hymnal, number 159 in the Gray Hymnal.
This is my song.
been good to be with you all this morning. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the music. As you know, the story I told in my sermon is a story. And I should tell you, all the stories I tell in my sermons are true. And yet they may not adhere scrupulously to actual facts and events. Nevertheless, I offer this service hoping to support you. I'm grateful to Alex and Gigi, the choir, Fern, Margaret, and all of us for being a community of support together. We are journeying home. May we support each other on this journey. Go in peace. Amen.
please feel free to join us live each Sunday at 66 Marlborough Street at the corner of Berkeley Street in Back Bay. If you'd like more information about programs, services, or membership at First Church, please visit the website www.firstchurchboston.org or send an email to office@firstchurchboston.org. Thank you for joining us this morning.